From saving an entire country to silencing his biggest haters on TV, Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the greatest footballers in the world, and over the years he's produced a couple of one-in-a-lifetime moments. So I just had to make a list of the 10 times CR7 shocked the world. And wait till you see the time he got so mad, he left the pitch before the game was over. But first up, I gotta throw it back to when he was showing his COD skills by shooting missiles in Portugal. In 2009, Ronaldo was on a roll. See, at the time, he was the Ballon d'Or holder and had helped United win the Premier League and the Champions League the previous season, and broken the Premier League record for the most goals in a single season. Ronaldo was now in his 5th year at United, but in the Champions League, they got drawn against FC Porto, and this one meant that Ronaldo was on flight back home. For Ronaldo, Portugal is everything. He began his career at Sporting Lisbon, one of the 3 biggest clubs in Portugal, along with Benfica and Porto, so when this draw was announced, the reunion was drawing a lot of attention. Because he was Portuguese didn't mean the Porto fans were gonna go easy on him. Instead, they'd prepared a special plan to get him off his game. As soon as the ref hit the whistle for kickoff, they began booing him, and every time he touched the ball, they whistled at him to jeer him off. But you see, back then, Ronaldo had zero chill, and once he figured out these guys were prepared to do this all game, well, he wasn't prepared to sit back and watch them all evening. And so, with just 6 minutes gone, he fired one shot and destroyed his haters. Boom! The entire stadium went silent. Even the United fans couldn't believe what they'd just seen. Insane! See, 2009 was a year of power shots for Ronaldo because back in England, he was doing the exact same thing, this time against bigger opponents. When Manchester United faced Arsenal in the Champions League semi-finals that same year, a lot was on the line. For Ronaldo and his teammates, they were looking to make history by becoming the first team to reach back-to-back Champions League finals in the modern era. But Arsenal wasn't prepared to let them go that easy, and so once the game kicked off, the tackles came flying in. This one time, United got a free kick in the Arsenal half, and it was so far out from goal that the Arsenal defence didn't even bother to set a proper wall. Even the commentators didn't think anyone would be bold enough to take a shot from there. But CR7 lives for these kind of moments, and once he had the goal in his sights and locked in, he let rip. A freaking banger! Even 2 goalies aren't stopping that. After that game, Ronaldo had the whole of Europe on lock. When the stakes are high, CR7 always delivers, and it couldn't get any higher than when his country needed him the most, in their biggest game of 2018, the World Cup opening game, and Portugal was facing Iberian neighbours Spain. These 2 countries go way back, and have a lot of ballers playing for the same clubs at national team level. For Ronaldo, he was going to be facing some of his club teammates like Ramos and Carvajal, but for 90 minutes at least, they were enemies, like me and my kid bro on Pizza Tuesday. The game got off to an electric start, with Ronaldo having Portugal up 2 goals early, but Spain fought back to make it 2-2 and scored 3 minutes later to go in front. At this point, the Portuguese fans were shocked. They'd been in this position multiple times before, losing to Spain in the Euro semi-finals of 2012, and now it was looking like deja vu all over. With the game entering the final seconds, Spain was still in the lead, and this time it looked like they were going to see it off and get another one over Portugal. Some Spanish fans had even started celebrating the win before the final whistle, but with 2 minutes left to play, Portugal got a free kick just outside the area, and as Ronaldo placed the ball down, he could feel the weight of his entire country behind him. This was it. He had to make this kick count, or else Portugal would lose the opening game and they'd find it hard to qualify from the group. So he took a deep breath, and as he locked his trademark free kick stance in, the entire stadium fell dead silent. You could almost hear a pin drop, and then 1, 2, and boom. The unbelievable happened. Even if I wrote this script in a movie, I don't think I'd have been able to get that perfect ending. Ronaldo legit rescued his country with a hat-trick in the biggest competition in the world. Respect. Ronaldo's hat-trick in 2018 helped them stay in the World Cup, but the one he got 5 years earlier was trying to get them to qualify for it. Portugal versus Sweden in the final qualification match for the 2014 World Cup, and both teams knew what was at stake. Whoever won this game would be going to Brazil for the showpiece the following year. But on the side, another rival rivalry was cooking, because two of the best players in the world were about to clash. On one hand, Ronaldo was having an incredible season with Real Madrid. He'd scored over 30 goals that season and was helping Real Madrid fight for the La Liga title. On the other hand, Zlatan Ibrahimovic was tearing it up in France with PSG. And once people realized one of these players wasn't going to be at the World Cup the next year, everyone was tuned in. Portugal went in front early through Ronaldo, but this was on Zlatan's turf, and he wasn't just going to sit back and let Ronaldo get one over in front of his fans. So he hit a brace and had Sweden on the brink of qualification. Because of the goal difference, all Sweden needed was one more goal, and Portugal would be out. But Ronaldo wasn't giving up without a fight, so he drew Portugal back into a game and set up a grandstand finish. Remember when I said the entire world was tuned in for this one? Scratch that, it's the entire galaxy. I bet even aliens were watching this one from Neptune. Ronaldo and Zlatan were putting on a show for the ages. With both locked on 2 goals each, there was still time for one person to grab a third goal and either seal the game or have Sweden on the brink again. And what happened next? Well, it defined an era. A hat-trick to send Portugal to the World Cup, and it was at this point the Portuguese supporters knew Ronaldo wasn't human. The crazy thing is, Ronaldo doesn't just score clutch hat-tricks for his country alone, he's been doing it at club level too. In 2016, Ronaldo and his Real Madrid team were up against it. They got drawn to face Wolfsburg in the Champions League round of 16 stage, and it was clear they'd be the favourites. But against the run of play in the first leg, Madrid lost the game 2-0, and had the Wolfsburg fans making fun of them. And one of them even crossed the line by openly admitting that they hadn't subscribed to Mr. Football yet. Whoa! The second leg had a lot counting on the occasion. All Wolfsburg needed to do was avoid losing by 2 goals, and they'd knock out Real Madrid. The Bernabeu was packed that evening because either way something incredible was bound to happen. And Ronaldo always prefers to be on the right side of history, so he took the match on his head and delivered a spectacular performance. Ronaldo 3, Wolfsburg 2, and Real Madrid had qualified for the quarter-finals. Ronaldo never gives up at all. But you see guys, out of all the impressive hat-tricks he's scored in his career, nothing comes close to the time when Ronaldo silenced his biggest hate. This trophy since 1996, and what better way to end that than by signing the player with the most goals and the joint most trophies in the competition. Juve made it out of the group stage without much trouble, but in the round of 16 they got drawn against a team Ronaldo was very familiar with, Atletico Madrid. Back at Real, Atleti were Ronaldo's direct rivals, and these dudes loved making life tough for him. But in the first leg, Atleti came up with a plan to keep Ronaldo boxed in all game, and it worked too, because at the end of the 90, Atleti won the game 2-0, and the home fans made sure Ronaldo wasn't going to forget anytime soon. They kept taunting him even after the final whistle and didn't stop. Ronaldo took it all in, and instead of losing his cool and overreacting, he just told them they'd meet in Turin. True to his word, Ronaldo was saving up the biggest performance of his career in years for a night like this, because at a packed Allianz Stadium with his wife and kids watching, Ronaldo used that moment to remind the world that at 33 he was still at the top of his game, and make the Atleti players eat their words too. Once that third goal went in, you just knew this dude was special. Ronaldo has a lot of history with Italian teams in this competition, like this one time in 2016, when he used a club from the capital city to prove he still got it to his biggest haters. This year in the Champions League, Ronaldo was in a bit of a sticky situation. He was on a long run of away games without a goal in the Champions League, and coming into the match against Roma, one reporter was bold enough to question him about it.
Gol fuera es del 30 de noviembre. ¿Por qué te está costando un poco más de trabajo marcar fuera?
But Ronaldo's response just said about everything.
Desde que estoy en España, diz-me un jugador que ha marcado más goles que yo fuera de casa. Uno. No tienes.
Now it was on. Ronaldo was on a mission to prove to these guys that the dip in form away from home was temporary, and he knew not just any type of goal was gonna cut it, so instead he hit a banger straight into the top bins, and had that reporter eating his words. Classic Ronaldo style, and with that CR7 chop too. I've tried that 4 times and ended up at the hospital on every occasion. What the Italians didn't know was that Ronaldo was announcing himself to the league with goals like this, and once he saw, imagine Ronaldo and LeBron in the same team one someday. They'd make Jordan and Kobe look like old-timers. But you see guys, Ronaldo hasn't always made the news for his incredible moments with goals and skills. In 2021, he was in the news for something else after he made a decision that almost cost him his career. Portugal was facing Serbia in a World Cup qualification match, only this one had a couple of odd features. No VAR. Still, the match was full of fireworks, especially in the closing stage. The game was locked at 2-2 and Portugal knew if they managed to win, they'd need just one more victory to qualify for the World Cup. So towards the end of the game, they began pushing for the winner, and with seconds left to play, they thought they'd got it when Ronaldo managed to bundle the ball home. But it turns out this one wasn't gonna count because the assistant referee incorrectly ruled that the ball never crossed the line when it actually did, and Portugal was denied a winner. Ronaldo was so angry that he completely lost it and left the pitch even before the final whistle. He didn't complete the game, and his decision to walk off the pitch like that had his career in the balance. If UEFA had taken up the case, Ronaldo might have been banned for the upcoming important international games and might not have even played at the World Cup. But he got away with this one, and maybe the guys at UEFA figured there was no way they could ban the guy who scored one of the greatest goals in European history 3 years earlier. In 2018, Ronaldo was still on the books of Real Madrid when they faced Juventus in the Champions League. This game had a lot of top-tier ballers on display, and the first leg was like fireworks in action. Madrid took the lead early on through Ronaldo, but Juve started working their way into the game, and pretty soon they had Madrid on the back foot. Ronaldo knew that he and his team had to score a second, or else Juve would make them pay. So they went on the attack, and after Buffon saved Ronaldo's first shot, the ball broke outside the Juve 18. Dani Carvajal came onto it and placed it in the area, and with the ball behind him, Ronaldo knew the only way he could catch this one clean and get a shot toward goal was by doing the only thing that came into his mind, and that's when he left everyone stunned. I still can't believe this happened. What a goal. Ronaldo's goal was so crazy that even the Juve fans were applauding it after. But you see guys, all of these crazy CR7 moments should have never happened, because a couple of years back, Ronaldo was seconds away from disaster that should have taken his life. And it wasn't just him too. Even Messi's seen the same thing, and it's all in the next video. The 7 footballers who are lucky to be alive.